Hi everyone, welcome to another tutorial video. So this will be a tutorial video on Spring Boot, and in this video we will learn how we will be creating a simple REST API based application using Spring Boot. So let's just quickly jump into that. So in my previous Spring Boot playlist videos, I have created videos on how to create simple Spring Boot applications using multiple ways, using start.spring.io and using Spring STS. So if you're someone new into Spring Boot, you can go ahead and watch those videos. Otherwise, we are good to go. So in this tutorial, we'll be covering the following topics. We will create Spring Boot application using start.spring.io. We will add in the required dependencies, and then we will import our project in Eclipse. We'll add the controller class, and we will also add a GetMapping method. We'll provide a simple business logic, not that complex. We will run our application and verify our get method. Okay, so let's just get quickly started. So first I will navigate to the website start.spring.io. So I'll go into my Chrome browser, type in start.spring.io, and we can see that this web page is being redirected. So here I will have to fill in a few details. For the project build tool, I will be using Maven. For the language, Java is selected, it's good. For the Spring Boot version, we will select 3.1.0, and it is always recommended to choose the latest version and leave the snapshot version, because the snapshot version is currently into development mode. It is not fully developed. So the 3.1.0 version is the latest one. I will keep that selected and feed in the group ID, artifact ID, etc. So the group ID, I will leave it as so the name is also done. Description is also good to go. The package name also good, looks good. Packaging, the jar is already selected, so that's fine. The Java version is selected to 17. We will leave it to that. Now coming to the dependencies, I will be using the web dependency because I have to build a RESTful application using Spring MVC. And this web dependency, adding this web dependency, it also aggregates the Apache Tomcat dependency. So we get the embedded Tomcat container. So we'll just go ahead and choose this web dependency, and once done, we will click on generate, this little button down here. So we can see that a zip file has been downloaded. I'll just go into the downloads folder. So here is my zip file. First, I need to extract this folder. The location looks good. And once extracted, I will just navigate inside this folder and copy this location so that I can use it in my IDE. So in here we can also see that we have a few files. We have the pom.xml file, we have the .mvn folder, we have the src folder. So let's explore it once we open this in our IDE. So I'll go ahead and open my Eclipse. Okay, so in here I can either click on this simple button import project, or I can go into file, and from here I can choose the option import. So I'll just do that. So once we are in the import dialog box, you will see a list of options. Since we have used Maven, we will double click on Maven, expand this, and here we will choose existing Maven projects. So once selected, click on next. And here we have to give in the location where we have extracted the downloaded folder. So here I have extracted my downloaded folder. I'll just copy this location and just paste it in here. And once I click here, we can see that the framework has already detected the pom.xml file. So this looks good. Now let's just click on finish. Okay, so we can see that the project is getting built. It's built already. So let's just quickly expand and see the contents of the application of the project. We have the src main Java folder, inside which we have our main class. And obviously the main class is annotated with @Spring Boot application. We also have the resources folder inside which we have our application.properties file, which is empty for now. Also, we have the test folder inside which we have a simple test class, and this has the annotation @Spring Boot test. Let's just quickly go into the pom.xml file and verify whether we have the dependencies required or not. So we can see that we have the starter web dependency. Okay, so we are good to go. Just close this files. And now let's create our first controller class. So I'll just right click on this folder as RC main Java, click on new and then class. Create my first controller class. We'll keep it in a separate package, separated with .controllers. Okay, so the naming is good. Let's just click on finish, and once done, let's proceed with creating our controller class. So the first thing that we have to do in any controller class is use the RestController annotation. So the RestController annotation is a combination of @controller and @response body annotations. And using this annotation, I'm telling my Spring framework that this class will be acting as the controller class. So any incoming web requests are to be mapped onto this class. Okay, so we will be creating our model class also. We have created our controller class. Now let's just go ahead and create a model class, which we will use as the model entity. We'll just quickly create the model class. Keep it in a different package, .models. Okay, so we are good to go. Let me just add a few variables here. Student name, so I've added my variables. Now I'll go ahead and quickly generate the getters and setters. So select all. I want to generate the getters and setters for all. So the getter setters are generated. Now quickly generate the constructor using fields. Select all and click on generate. I'll also generate the toString. So I'll just choose my fields: student name, student ID, student branch, and student total marks. Once selected, click on generate. So the toString method is also generated. Okay, so we have created our model class. Now let's just add a simple GetMapping method, which will have a plain and simple logic to return the student details. So I'll create a simple method which will have a return type of my student class. I'll name the method as getStudentDetails. So we have created the get method. Now let's quickly add the get mapping annotation so that our framework can know that this is a get mapping. Okay, so we have created our get mapping method. So let's just quickly go through the steps that we have done. First, we have created our model class, added the data variables, and then we have created a controller class. Use the annotation @RestController. Use the class level annotation request mapping and added the /student. So any URL ending with /student will be mapped onto this controller. I'm telling the framework using @request mapping annotation. And inside my controller class, I have added a plain simple method which will return my student details based on the student name, whatever is passed in the URL. So we are done with the controller class. Now let's just quickly run this application and verify. So I will go on my main class and click on this play button. So something is happening in my console. Let's see. So we can see that the Tomcat has started on port 8080. So by default, any Spring Boot application, it runs on port 8080. We can always change this property in the application properties file, but we will see that in consequent lectures. So my application is up and running. Let's just quickly verify that. What was the request mapping that we have used? We have used /student. Okay, local host /8080 /student name. Okay, so we can see that we are getting the student details that we added in our controller class. So based on the student name, it is giving me the student details that I am returning from here. We have created a simple REST API based Spring Boot application. We have added a model class. We have created a controller class and added a simple GetMapping methods. So yeah, this is it for this tutorial. We checked on all these points, and in the consequent lectures, we will create a REST API based Spring Boot application which will have the CRUD repository methods implemented, that is create, read, update and delete. And for the database, first we will be using the in-memory database, that is the H2 database, and consequently we will be switching on to MySQL and then MongoDB. Okay, so the next video we will create a REST API Spring Boot application using H2 database and Spring Data JPA. So this was it for this tutorial, guys. If you are new to this channel, I will highly recommend you to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any videos, and we will be publishing the entire Spring Boot playlist, entire microservices playlist and the entire Spring Cloud playlist. So yeah, this was it for this tutorial. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.